Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
CUPE says government has agreed to delay its Sunday afternoon deadline to reach a deal and avert strike. Toronto police identify man killed during quadruple shooting in Parkdale. COVID-19 death toll in Ontario surpasses 15,000. Environment Canada issues snow squall alerts for parts of southern Ontario. TTC drops COVID-19 vaccine mandate, announces plans to reinstate terminated employees. Peel police arrest man in alleged romance scam, believe there are more victims.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
The union representing school support workers says that it is prepared to spend all weekend at negotiation table in an attempt to stave off a planned strike that could once again shutter schools. CUPE's Ontario School Board Council of Unions has released a statement confirming that it is committed to resuming talks with the Ministry of Education ahead of a planned strike on Monday. The union said that its leadership, as well as the ministry, has agreed to set a deadline of 5 p.m. on Sunday to get a deal in order to provide parents and caregivers as much notice as possible about a possible interruption to in-person learning. CUPE officials have, however, told CTV News Toronto that the deadline wouldn't necessarily preclude talks from continuing if both sides are close to an agreement on Sunday night. The statement from CUPE comes as Ontario's Ministry of Education asks school boards to pivot to remote learning next week if education workers strike on Monday. The development was outlined in a memo obtained by CTV News Toronto earlier on Thursday afternoon. A number of boards were already making plans to transition to remote learning with the prospect of strike looming next week. But Education Minister Stephen Lecce said he is hopeful that the two sides will get back to the table. We really hope that those discussions will carry forward today and over the coming days. We expect there to be conversations, Lecce told CP24 Breakfast in an interview Thursday morning. Ultimately, notwithstanding the strike notice, we can still have productive conversations at the table, and that's what I am trying to do. The Canadian Union of Public Employees CUPE announced Wednesday that it had given the mandatory 5 days notice for the strike action after renewed bargaining fell apart. The union represents custodial staff, educational assistants, administrative staff, and other workers. The Ford government's move sparked an outcry from labor groups and even prompted Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to call the move inappropriate. The union has said since that the two sides recently agreed to a 3.59% wage increase, but that CUPE is still not happy with the staffing levels for their workers. From the beginning, this bargaining has been about the chronically low wages of those workers, but it has also been about the services in school, CUPE Ontario President Fred Han told CP24 Thursday. He said the jobs the union is fighting for the need to be there, so students have the support they need to succeed. Han said the talks fell apart again because it's difficult to bargain with yourself. For his part, Lecce said the government has done what was asked of it by repealing the law and agreeing to better wages, and is disappointed that the union is striking again. Lecce also said that he believes that the compensation remains the fundamental fault line in negotiations, despite CUPE's insistence that it is no longer a major issue. Both sides have cast themselves as fighting for the children in the labor dispute, but parents and kids have been left in the middle. A number of the school boards have said that they are finalizing plans for virtual learning in the event that the strike proceeds Monday. Whiteout weather conditions are expected to blast through parts of southern Ontario, with some areas getting up to 60 centimeters of snow this weekend. As of 6:24 a.m., Environment Canada issued a snow squall watch for Niagara region, saying up to 60 centimeters of snow is expected to blanket the region. Snow will start to fall tonight and will continue through the Sunday morning. Environment Canada says near zero visibility on the roads is possible due to heavy blowing snow, making road closures possible. The heaviest snow is expected late this evening through Friday night. Then snowfall rates could exceed 3 inches per hour, the warning reads. Niagara isn't the only region to see a dump of snow this weekend, as the Federal Weather Agency issued snow squall watches for areas like Barrie, Collingwood, Midland, Berks Fall, Bruce Peninsula, Owen Sound, Kingston, Picton, Huntsville, and Simcoe. Currently, there aren't any weather advisories issued for Toronto, but some lighter snow might fall on the city. The TTC has dropped its COVID-19 vaccination mandate for employees, paving the way for the potential reinstatement of hundreds of terminated workers. In the news release issued on Thursday morning, the TTC said that it would formally lift the requirement as of November 27th. It said that employees who were terminated as a result of the policy will be offered the opportunity to be reinstated but will not be eligible for back pay. The TTC previously terminated 354 employees for failing to comply with the mandate last January. The TTC's decision to repeal its vaccination mandate for employees comes about a week after the City of Toronto confirmed that it would drop the mandate that was in place for its employees. CTV News Toronto reported in June that the TTC was facing nearly $3 million worth of wrongful dismissal lawsuits filed by the former employees in conjunction with its mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy. In a statement on Thursday, the TTC defended its initial decision, which it said ensured illnesses were kept to a bare minimum and allowed the TTC to continue delivering its essential service throughout the pandemic. It did not provide its reason for lifting the mandate now. Toronto police have identified a man who was fatally shot during a quadruple shooting at a high-rise in Parkdale earlier this week. The incident happened shortly after 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday at the Toronto Community Housing Corporation building at 245 Dunn Avenue, which is just south of Queen Street West. According to police officers, found a man who had been shot in a third-floor unit. Police and paramedics did life-saving measures, but the victim died at the scene. He has been identified as 23-year-old Abel Gaim of Toronto. Gaim is Toronto's 63rd homicide victim of the year. Investigators said a second person, a 19-year-old man, was found in the lobby of the 19-story building. He was rushed to hospital via emergency run with life-threatening injury, police said. The man's injuries are now listed as non-life-threatening. A third person, a victim, a 22-year-old man, went to the hospital on their own and received treatment for non-life-threatening injury. The fourth victim, a 44-year-old woman, fled the building and took refuge on a nearby TTC vehicle. Toronto police said she was transported to hospital where she received treatment for a non-life-threatening injury. Toronto police are searching for at least 2 suspects. So far, police have only released limited descriptions.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.